Okay, thank you so much for joining me again. And I thought I would this time show you a beautiful fun fold card that I created. It is cased, so it has been created by another demonstrator. But I have changed it up a little by using a different embossing folder. But yeah, this is a what they call a bandstand card, and it's actually, so it stands, well, it's like this at the moment, but it stands upways. And you write your message on the back. This one I have used the heart-shaped die set and stamp for. The embossing folder, this is actually a snowflake one. It's not the original one that I used, but it's what I had on my desk and it works. So you have a beautiful gold heart shape on the front with a little flower detail, and it pops up, and that's all stuck on a bit of acetate or window sheets. And yeah, you write your message on the back. So I'm just going to help you along and show you how to put this one together. And if you want more fun fold cards like this one or the others that you have, yeah, let me know. So this is the stamp set. So it has a beautiful heart stamp, which is exactly the same as the die. A couple of little sentiments. So thank you, my heart loves your heart. Just because I care, my thoughts of you are all heart shaped, and just hello. And there's like a couple of flowers, thank you, and a couple of little sprigs. And they are the clear ones. So fun fact, Stampin' Up are actually removing the red stamps from our line, and they are all going to be the clear stamps, which I'm a little bit more of a fan of the clear stamps. And yeah, you'll see more of them. We also use in this one, I have actually cut out some of the dies, actually all of the dies. I just find it easier because they all come in these little pouches, and at the moment there's no pictures on the front, whereas we're also rejigging this at the moment, and we're going to have the pictures on the die cuts, so I won't have to continue to do this. So in this set you get the 2 leaves, which we're going to use in this card, the backing to the stamped flowers, another sprig, the heart shape that you're going to be using today, the flower that you're going to be using today, and this is just for one of your sentiments. So obviously one of the just because I care or my heart loves your heart, they fit perfectly on this one. But yeah, we're going to use these ones today, this one and the flower. So I might as well get into it. Put that down there. Okay, so you do have a card base. It's a little bit different to your normal card base because this one doesn't open. It's basically a stand up or a flat card. It is 4 1/8 by 5 1/2. And that is scored at 3/4 and 3 3/8. So I basically just fold these in to give it that first dimension. Get my bone folder out of underneath my mats and just fold those back just for a more crisper edge. I might also start, now that we've folded this, I'll just sit that up to the top, start with some of the more fussier stuff, and then we'll put it all together at the end. So this is one of my favourite glues actually with Stampin' Up. It's just a fine tip glue pen. It's obviously has a tiny little hole and a little pin to go in it to stop it from clogging up. But it sets super fast, so you've got to work quite quickly with it. And yeah, I actually love it more than the Tombow glue. But what we'll start with is the flower. So in your pack, you will have a couple of glue dots. So what I did with this is I flipped my flower over. So you've got the back of, let's see if I can zoom in. I'll bring it into focus a little bit more. There we go. So you've got that's your front. The back looks a bit grotty. So all I did was got one of my glue dots and stuck it straight in the middle when it wants to come off my nail, because they're so easy just to grab if you've got a pick or a pokey tool, just to peel that off. But then also you've got your leaves, so you'll have, can I focus that? There we go. You've got a 2 and a 3. You should have a 2 and a 3 prong leaf. If you've only got 2s, that's okay as well. You just flip those over because you've got the back of the flower, and stick them in the glue dot. I'm going to come into focus again. And you can sort of manipulate them a little bit to how you want them on your flower. So I've just popped that on there and push it down, and you can just flip it over to see sort of how it looks on the other side. And if you don't like the way it is, just move them around a bit, and leave it as is. Leave it upside down because obviously it's going to be sticky. I'll just pop that up the top there. I'll zoom us back out. And then what we'll do is we'll work on these bits, because they're not tricky, they're just a pain. So you have a couple of strips of white cardstock. They measure 5 3/4 by 1 1/4. And you score them at 3/4, 2, 3 3/4, and 5. And these are going to make the stand of your card. So you fold on the score line. I did bone fold my last lot, so I'll quickly do that here as well. Again, you don't have to bone fold, it just gives you more crisper lines, or creases. So just fold and line, fold it and run it down, fold it and run it down, and fold and crease. So then you actually have 2 pieces, again, of white cardstock. These are 1 by 1 1/2, and these are going to be stuck to the middle of that arch that you've just done. So we'll quickly do that now. And yes, I do overkill on the tape, so forgive me. And look, you want to try and get these as centered as you can, but white on white, sometimes it's going to be a bit difficult to work out where you're going to put it. So just quickly pop that in there. And then what we want is 4 1 by 1 inch panels, and these have all been embossed with an embossing folder. So we just stick these. Look, it would be cool if you match them, but if you don't or can't, absolutely fine. Because I'm not, I don't think. Oh, maybe. That one there. As long as they sort of roughly match height wise, I'm not fussed. So then we just fold these out again and put a bit of tape on them. And the same with the last one. Put that up there. Now, what you want to do is grab your acetate. So I'll just quickly move this card out of the way and pop that up there. So you want to get your acetate, which is you can't really see this, but obviously it's a clear window sheet. And flip your panels over, because the acetate goes in between these two bars basically. So I'll just get a bit of my glue and put that at the top. This is super strong glue too, so you know you don't need a super lot. And if you can put that on your panel, obviously try and get it as straight as you can, but it's okay if you can't. And then if you glue the bottom of the other side as well, and pop that on, just bearing in mind that this is also going to be, need to quickly move that before it sets too much. It needs to be the same height. There's a couple of ways you can do it, and this is obviously the more difficult way, because you've got to keep moving it to adjust it. And then you may end up with a bit of a glue smudge, but we can fix that later. So that's how we want that to look, approximately. We're going now back to our original base, and you have an embossed piece of card at what are we, 2, what is it, 2.5? No, 2 3/8. Maybe. By 5 and... Oh no, that's the back. No, this way. 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4 by 2, almost 2.5. So I don't know whether it's my cutting that's put this out, but that's going to be your middle piece. So we'll grab a bit of tape, and I know my tape runner is about to run out, so I'm just gonna not use a lot. So if we pop that in the middle, approximately, and then you have 2 smaller strips at 1/2 by 5 1/4. Now they go on the inside next to the panel that you've just stuck down. Raised side up, so you want the pretty pattern on the top. And I just do that to keep them together. And then, because I've already stuck this together, it should be super simple, but we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, or count our chickens before they hatch. So we quickly pop these ones in here. Just put a bit of tape on the wings and fold them in. And the same for this side. Tape on your wings and fold them in. And that way then you've got one slightly crooked but a beautiful card base. And then you've got 2 bits of cardigan. They look very similar to the pieces you had before, but these ones are 5/8 by 5 1/4. And these are going on the outside wings. So to cover what we've just stuck down, pop that on like so. And the same with the other one. Pop that on here. And again, this one seems a little bit shorter, so I'm just going to pull it up a little bit and pull it in, because I'm so not straight with these today, but just going to be a demo card. And before I stick the front on, the flower and the hearts, we'll have a Mossy Meadow piece of 2.5 by 5 1/4 and just a white piece of card at 2 3/8 by 5 1/8. And we're going to stick the white to the green, just as your sentiment piece. And this has a tiny border. It threw me a little bit when I first did it. I'm like, how am I going to get that on there? So you pop that on there, and I would stamp it first. So I'm using my Thoughts of You Are All Heart-Shaped with just my black Memento. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. And pop that anywhere you want, but I'm going in the middle-ish. And then I will stick this to the back. Put that on there. Put that on there. So that's my sentiment piece done. And then we flip it over to get now our front. Now I've given you a couple of extra sticky dots or glue dots because it is easier to grab a glue dot and stick it on the bottom of your heart. Yes, it's going to be a little bit tacky, as in sticky, but while you are playing around with it, but you can use glue. It just takes a little bit longer to dry, but I'm going to use glue for the top. So I'm just going to use my fine tip glue, but because that's been off for a little while, I think there we go. We were a little bit blocked, but we just put a little bit on the top bit of this heart. And we want to try as best as we can, not that I've done very well at that today, stick it in the middle. And I just use the other end of, or something, just to put pressure on where I had the glue, just to sort of keep it in place for a bit. And then we have our beautiful little flower. It is still sticky because we've got the glue dot on the back, but I'm just going to add a bit of glue to the glue dot. And up to you which way you want it. I'm just going to stick him on here. And I've also given you 3 of 3. I think I've given you 3. 2 of the little gems here. I've put it in the middle of my flower, but these are the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. So you've got Strawberry Slush, Pretty in Pink, and then a clear version. So I just used one of the little ones, picked that off with my Take a Pick. You can use scissors. It's probably easier to use scissors, or your fingers, whichever one you prefer. That didn't come off. There we go. And then just pop him in the middle. And that is your beautiful bandstand card. It sits up like that. So we've got 2 of those there now. This will be one of your pack cards, and that is everything there for you.